The Mule and the Monk. There was continuous sound of the ringing bell coming from the mule's neck, and continuous gallop and the ringing of the bell on the lonely course to the high hills keep growing monotonous with every further step for the mule, but not for the rider, who is a monk and keeps chanting his Buddhist mantras. The mule does not know where he is heading except to follow the instructions of the monk, whereas the monk carries the burden of the entire world. The destinations were always the same. They kept moving from one monastery to another. The travel kept going on and on and on, and the same routine kept repeating. While they kept going on one of the narrow routes toward the mountains, the mules stopped on all fours while the monk was busy on his own. The monk screamed, losing his religious faith, but right then a big stone fell right in front of them. A huge rock big enough to erase both of them just with a touch. The monk was speechless. Just a moment earlier, he was despicable, but now he had no words to thank the mule. He was lost in his own realm of religion or something like that, but now he was someone who found himself alive just because of the mule, whom he thought was just a carrier. The understanding of nature and the meaning of death were understood very well. While his understanding as a mule was simple, he was aware and lived in the present. When he saw the rolling rock from above, he stopped with all his strength. He didn't need to be enlightened, nor did he need to ask the monk's permission to stop. He just became a part of nature by reacting naturally. But for the monk, the realization of nature, his life, and the understanding of mules got him to understand that which he didn't have earlier. The mule started the journey even before the monk realized it. He was very grateful to the mule for not reacting to his reaction and continuing as if nothing happened. All of a sudden, the monk jumped off the mule's back, and the mule halted in reaction. But the mule's face was surprised. For the first time everything that happened as well as the monk did earlier seemed natural to him except for this last act. The monk came ahead and stood in front of the mule. He kneeled on the ground and bowed his head in gratitude. He expressed a humble expression of appreciation and, with very kind eyes, he expressed, "You have been part of every journey for a very long time. I have been riding on you and you have always made my journey easier. I have been in the service of the monasteries since my childhood and am still in the process of reaching ultimate nirvana. On the voyage, I might have treated you with many offenses unknowingly, for which I apologize and won't trouble you with my burden anymore. So far, I've been an unconscious seeker of an unknown destiny, but you've made me realize the truth of the present and my awareness of it. The optimum freedom is to be free from the burden of history and ignorance of the mysterious future. I have not known anything else so far except the truth you made me witness to today. No one taught me or accompanied me like you did with your silence and simple behavior of being with nature. So, now onwards, I have decided to be your disciple and learn from you. We are no longer chasing an unknown future, but rather a heavenly place where you can enjoy true nature and have no one to treat you like a mule, and I can stay close to you and learn from nature in peace." The mule almost fainted hearing the monk's confession and could not understand what he meant by him being a disciple and reaching the heavenly place as well as learning from nature in peace. But to his greatest surprise, the monk surprised him with the next act of unloading all his belongings and saddle too. He threw the saddle away and carried all the load on his back. The only thing the mule had now was the lead rope. The monk tried to get rid of it too, but he could not and left it. The monk once more greeted the mule with both his hands and walked ahead. The mule, still in confusion with all the unnatural acts, followed the monk. The journey kept going and the monk never rode on the mule again. Nor did he keep anything over the mule's back. Instead, he served the mule with all his humbleness whenever they halted or rested for the night. He kept talking to the mule on his own and understood many things without being told. Instead, there were several times when the monk carried the mule to get over the narrow alleys and obstacles. The journey kept going and the monk danced, walked, and ran on the path and enjoyed the company as much as he could. But the heavenly place never arrived. After almost a year, one day while they rested in a place, the monk asked the mule, "How long do you need to keep walking on the path until where?" The mule didn't know the answer either, nor could he talk back. The silence remained, and the monk kept talking to himself. He kept talking about the heavenly place and the journey to the unknown and how long it would take. Then, after almost the whole night while the mule was in deep sleep, the monk started his dance of joy. He thanked the mule with all his heart and said, "Destiny has no meaning, and the duration is not the answer to it. The delusions of the heavenly place have no joy. The journey that we travel together, the company of the teacher, and the learning of nature and understanding are the most important. Your presence and silence answer all my questions in the most satisfying way. Whatever we do or wherever we go, may the joy of your company be the best way for me to find myself, understand myself, and know the eternity. Thank you." Their company's journey will not be easy, but none of them were concerned about the mysteries. There were no longer any distinctions between destiny and journey.